Democrats' agenda hanging in the balance. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin is increasingly in the hot seat tonight, facing these accusations, as Kevin reported, that he's a white supremacist who favors voter suppression because he doesn't plan to support the Democrats' election overhaul bill or to get rid of the filibuster, and that's what progressives say they want. Will the accusations of racism win him over? Let's discuss with Fox News contributors Leslie Marshall and Jason Chaffetz. It's great to have you both with us tonight.
Hi, Shannon.
Glad to be here.
Okay, so Congresswoman Cori Bush says this in a tweet: Manchin and company be like defund the police costs us elections while actively sabotaging our Dem agenda. Our movement was at the heart of the organizing that won us the 2020 elections. Now conservative Dems block our progress. Join us in saving lives or get out of our way. Jason.
To say that he's actively sabotaging is just not correct. They haven't won him over. He is an independent thinker. He has earned a solid reputation on both sides of the aisle as being fair. I don't always like the way that he votes, but he is a good and decent person. And if the Democrats think that they could just bludgeon him by calling him a racist, I don't think that's going to fly. I don't think anybody believes that. And boy, wouldn't it be interesting at some point if Joe Manchin said, you know, I'm going to caucus with the Republicans.
Oh boy. Jason's starting a fire there tonight. We'll see. I'm sure that they would love to welcome him with open arms. Okay, the Washington Post has this opinion. It says that Democrats should be careful about how much they push Manchin. They say this. Mark Thiessen writes, U.S. voters elected an evenly split Senate and gave Democrats a narrow majority in the House. The normal reaction to this outcome would be to follow Manchin's advice, temper their demands, reach across the aisle. Instead, Democrats are acting like they won in a landslide. If they had an actual mandate to do this, one conservative West Virginia Democrat would not be able to stand in their way. Leslie, he's offering caution to your side of the aisle.
Well, I would say caution at the name calling. That's not going to accomplish anything. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I've always thought Joe Manchin was a Republican with a blue cape and a D on it. And I don't think he's racist. I think he's selfish. And the reason he's selfish is even the voters of his own state want things that he isn't sold on. We saw it in the past with the fight for 15 and raising the minimum wage to that. We've seen it right now with infrastructure. 78% of the voters in his state. And by the way, look, sorry, 68. And let's look at 79% support, Shannon, for the People Act. By the way, 76% Republican support. So I don't know who Joe Manchin is trying to please. He's not pleasing the voters in his state. That's not why he's holding out on this. He's pleasing Republicans certainly right now, possibly, and he's certainly not pleasing his party. But it's not just the progressive and left-wing faction of my party. It's centrist and moderates like me, centrist and moderates like President Biden, who actually talked about this and had put this out there when he was on the campaign trail. So I honestly am not sure what Joe Manchin is doing, but he certainly is not winning a lot of friends right now. Maybe Jason and his buddies in the GOP, have that red coat
Senator
for him,
Manchin,
that red cape for him, but the blue one's it's not looking very blue right now.
Well, Senator Manchin seems to be somebody who doesn't worry too much about what people think. And regardless of where you are ideologically, maybe we should want that more of our politicians, whether they call themselves Republicans, Independents, Democrats, whatever, think for themselves. Okay, I want to talk about something else that has bubbled up. The Daily Mail says that it has gotten these texts that it says are back and forth between Hunter Biden and his attorney using the N-word. Donald Trump Jr. tweets this: try to imagine one of the Trump kids dropping the N-word, real quote from Hunter, and then he uses one of the quotes from the text with the hashtag racist Hunter, Jason, which is trending tonight.
Well, it's disgusting. It is racist. Now, Joe, his father, and granted, it's a father and son situation, but Joe Biden calls Hunter Biden the smartest person on the planet. I understand he's had some serious addiction problems, but that still does not excuse the underlying question, which is, what was Hunter Biden doing in Ukraine, in China? What was Joe Biden doing at the same time while he was the vice president? What's going on with Hunter Biden in taking millions of dollars from foreign interests while his dad is in the highest of political office? That is still there. But these emails, they're disgusting. And it's shameful that we even have to talk about them. But he wrote them, so they're going to be out there.
I mean, we are having this conversation about race, about, language, about things that people say. I mean, we just talked about Senator Manchin being accused of being racist because of the way he plans to vote. And now we have these texts. Benny Johnson tweeting this. Weird how everyone who screamed about racism and white supremacy for the last 4 years are completely silent about members of the first family, Hunter Biden, using the N-word multiple times along with racist stereotypes and memes. Isn't this what you have been waiting for? I mean, Leslie, isn't there pressure on those who've been out there saying, listen, we got to talk about these difficult issues, even if it's one of their own, that they have to be willing to come out and publicly denounce this?
But he's not one of our own. I mean, this is what kills me. And Jason, you would know this better than I because you served in Congress, okay? When Jason ran, his wife and children didn't. And his wife and children, in my opinion, and I don't care if they're adults or not, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, should be off limits. Now, if Hunter did something wrong, investigate it, indict him, arrest him. But even though the N-word is absolutely disgusting, in my opinion, I don't care who is saying it to who, and I've had some people that I know that said to me it's okay in certain situations. I'm not okay with that. But Hunter Biden is not president, and even though he's the president's son, he is not running for office. He is not an elected official.
I think, Leslie, though, you speak honestly. If this was Don Jr. or Eric Trump, honestly, do you think that the mainstream media, Democrats would be all over it, and Republicans would be under pressure to come out and say that's disgusting and not okay?
Yeah, sort of like when Marjorie Taylor Greene kept making her Holocaust references, and it took days and even for some weeks, and even some are still silent on the right. Not calling her out. This is what happens, and you know it, Jason, in both of our parties, Democrat and Republican. If we have somebody say something disgusting, the other side points fingers, and a lot of people in that party want to protect and want to stay quiet, and we need to just be honest and call it what it is.
Jason.
Left or right, it's wrong to make a racial comment, an anti-Semitic comment, the list goes on.
Exactly. Jason, very quick, we got to go.
That's not the way you treated the Trump children who were not part of the administration, and to suggest that there's something else there, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. And his involvement in China and Ukraine.
Those investigations, at least one publicly that we know of, continue. So we'll track them. Leslie and Jason, come back soon. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.